The Champions Cup is back with a bang. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. First up, we have London Irish 27, Montpellier 32. So London Irish got off to a great start with this one. Gonzalez forces his way over from close range for an early score. Then we have Hassel Collins puts in a beautiful run, sets up Cinti for the second try. And it's looking like, London Irish are looking good for the win here. But then we have big moments of the game. So Creevy is red carded. It's a strange one because he wasn't really the main tackler as far as I could see on the replay of what they showed on replay. And it looked to me like the Montpellier player is kind of falling under the tackle of the other London Irish player. And then Creevy makes contact. But the referee said there's no mitigation and there's no change of height. So it's a straight red for him. I'm not sure on review what's going to happen with that. It might be similar to maybe a Keane Healy situation, but we'll have to see. Doesn't affect London Irish straight away though, because Gonzalez goes over for his second and London Irish's third. But just before half time, then Ryan Ark gets an important score for Montpellier, and that's the beginning of their comeback. The second half, then Darman gets a double, and they get the bonus point try up with about 20 minutes to go or so. Montpellier get the bonus point win. London Irish are able to keep the score close enough that they get a losing bonus point, but they probably felt at the start of the game that we're going to get a lot more than that. Montpellier are going to be very happy going away from home and getting this win, and you can see them definitely making it into the knockout stage. Whether they're going to be committed enough to the competition beyond that, we'll have to see. London Irish probably feel a bit unlucky not to get the win, but now they're going to have to go away and do something, I feel. Okay, next then we had Sharks 39, Harlequins 31. So Quins opened the scoring in this one. Some decent running play from them, as you would expect. Sharks, though, hit back from, they have a line-out maul. Then we have some great stepping from Mapimpi for their second try. And then there's a lovely pass out the back from Hendrickse, kind of like pass it behind his own back, like to Mapimpi then for the Mapimpi second and the Sharks third. So at that stage then, Sharks looking in good position there. Then we see great pace from Koch, where he basically kicked the ball through and then showed good wheels to get the ball. I think he was maybe running against forwards, but he still had to cover the ground. It was basically the ball that he was trying to catch rather than the defenders in that case, and make sure that it didn't go dead. We then have yellow card for repeated penalties by the Sharks. But even with the 14 men, they're still looking like they're in charge of the game. But then Oxenche gets a red card. This one is an upright head-to-head tackle, the kind of one that we've seen a lot recently. There wasn't any mitigation as far as I could see, and probably a deserved red there. So at that stage then, Sharks are down to 13 players because they got one in the bin, and Oxenche is off. Quins do really well to exploit that extra space that they have against 13. They score 2 tries in that period. Then 5 minutes ago, Quins score to make it a 1-point game, and it's looking a bit dodgy for the Sharks, but Chamberlain pops up to score and to seal the win with about 2 minutes left for them. So Sharks debut in the Champions Cup, going to be very happy with a win, and especially being able to pull it off after it went down to 14. The Harlequins came back at them hard. Harlequins just missed out on that losing bonus point that maybe could prove crucial. Going to depend on how they go at home in the next game. On then to Racing 10, Leinster 42. So I've got a full video on this one on the channel if you want a full breakdown of the game. So I'm just going to give you very quick cliff notes on this one. Leinster basically started out clearly the better team in this one. They seem to be on a mission in this game. Racing didn't really turn up. I felt that Byrne for Leinster had a great game. No Sexton for them. And then Josh van der Fleer gets himself a couple of tries. And Racing, once Leinster got ahead, Racing never really came back at them at all during the game. And when they got the try, it was already kind of settled at that stage, and Leinster were just able to add on scores after that as well. Finn Russell, I felt, for a 10 playing in a team that was going backwards a lot of the time, actually didn't play all that bad. Maybe some of his kick selections weren't great, but still he had that good passing game. He was being able to put people through gaps. He was the threat himself with the ball in hand as well, but just didn't have anyone else around him really to finish off moves. Leinster, good defence and very clinical as well when they got their chances too. So they're looking good. I'd say if they win their next game now, they're through to the knockout stages, but they won't take the foot off the gas if that happens. They're going to look for a high seeding and a home ride as far into the competition as they can go. Then we have Gloucester 22, Bordeaux 17. So Bordeaux opened the scoring in this one, and it's a bit strange because it's their own line out that they score from, right? But not in the way you would think. So they throw the ball in, Gloucester nick the ball, but they come to the ground then, and Bordeaux somehow pinch the ball back from them. Then they get the ball to Taihead Valatea, and he goes through just a massive gap to score, and there was nobody near him. He kind of, I think, brushed off the first tackler, and once he'd done that, then there was just no cover, and there was nobody getting near him. Then he scores that one. Then we have Gloucester hit back with a try of their own. There's a nice build up, and Varney goes over for the try for them. So nice passing there and some good running lines. Bordeaux, though, score again just before half time. There was some really stout defence from Gloucester. And in this one, I only saw the highlights, but it felt like that all of the scores were kind of hard won. That defences were on top it seemed like for a lot of the game. And you really had to work for your scores, other than the opening score, which was, I'm not going to say a gift, but was just really strange, especially compared to how hard people had to work for all the other scores. Gloucester, though, they do hit back in the last quarter. And then we have Alemano. He breaks the line, and he breaks the line, and then someone is trying to tackle him to the ground. But he's still moving forward. He's not going to score, but he's still moving forward. He's close to the line, maybe about 10 or 15 meters out. But he's able to hold his feet until Chapman comes through. He pops the ball off to Chapman, and he goes in then for the winning score. There's only a couple of minutes left. So Gloucester are going to be happy to start off with a home win, and a very hard fought one as well. Bordeaux, they've got a losing bonus point, and they've got something to build on from here. Next to them, we have Clermont 24, Stormers 14. So this one really was a game with two halves. Stormers, another South African team making their debut in this competition. They start off really well in the first half. They get, I think they got a couple of tries, right? I'm pretty sure they did. It wasn't penalties. Pretty sure they got a couple of tries in the first half, and they were looking good. Their pack was getting them go forward when they spread the ball as well. They were finding gaps and being able to build on that. This is another one where I got a full video on it on the channel, so I'm not going to go into a lot of details. But then second half comes along, and then suddenly Clermont wake up, and it's a complete reverse. Like the first half, Clermont were all over the place. Stormers, everything going right for them. They're on the front foot. Then second half, Clermont are the ones on the front foot. Stormers can't catch a break at all, and Clermont just have that nous to be able to pull the game back, get themselves ahead, and Stormers just weren't able to respond in the end. Clermont definitely going to be happy with a home win. This is one of the French teams that put a lot of focus on this competition. We know other French teams, if they get off to a bad start, maybe they're going to send out like the second or third string team for the rest of the pool stages if they feel like they're not going to get that far. Clermont, though, are a different animal for Europe, really. Whether they won or lost this game, they were going to be committed all the way through this pool. Now that they do have that win, they're going to look again, kind of like Leinster, trying to get that high seeding to be able to get deep into the competition. Stormers, they've had their introduction now to what this competition is all about. They now know that from the URC, they're going to need to step up another level in this competition. They're going to be at home next, though, so they will be confident of getting themselves their first win in the competition there. And once if they do get that under the belt, then you can see them building into the competition nicely. Next, then we have defending champions La Rochelle, 46, Northampton 12. So straight from the off, La Rochelle pounced on a Saints mistake to open the scoring. So La Rochelle kind of kicked through like a grubber that bounced up, and I don't know who it was for the Saints, but they basically can't handle the ball. La Rochelle sweep in and they score. Then they add on a maul try shortly after that as well. We then have Dylan Late gets the bonus point try on the stroke of half time. And right at the start of the second half, then we have a charge down try. And basically at that stage, then contest is over. They get the sixth try before 50 minutes. And it's just really the champions going out there and putting down a marker and sending out a statement to the rest of the competition that we're not going to give up this title easily. Northampton, they do get a couple of late tries with La Rochelle down to 14, but never really, once La Rochelle got themselves a couple of scores ahead, you didn't really see Northampton coming back in that one at all. They are going to cause teams problems, in their other games, but this just wasn't one of them for them. They're going to be happy to be at home next weekend. La Rochelle, they're going to be full of confidence going away to an Ulster team who got absolutely pounded as well. So that's going to be one to watch, I think, between those two. Next, then we have Bulls 42, Lions 36. So this one looked like the defenses just took the day off. Like there was some beautiful attacking play in this whole game, but I didn't see any defense at all from either team throughout the game. So we have Mbuka. Lovely run for him, kind of like a solo effort, and then he adds a second as well a couple of minutes. The Bulls add a second a couple of minutes later. Then we have Van der Lende. He kind of does a bit of a dummy pass, not quite on the Sevilla levels, but the defense did buy it. He goes over for the third try. That's in we're just at the end of the first quarter, and there are already 3 tries up. It's looking like Bulls are going to stroll this one. And then 3 minutes later, it's even looking more like that because they get the bonus point try. So we're only 24 minutes into the game and they're already 4 tries to 0 up. Leon, though, do finally wake up and they get themselves 2 tries just before half time. So it looked like they were going to go into, half time way behind, but they bring the score back a little bit. They're still a bit behind though. Second half then, Jacobs, great stepping for his try at the start of the second half, extends the Bulls' lead. Leon, though, do hit back immediately. And I mean immediately, like it's a minute or two after that try, they score one. And then a couple of minutes later, they score another one as well. But then Bulls come back again. We have Smith. He has a really strong run. Good fend as well. He goes over for the Bulls' final try, but there's still time for Leon. They score for their losing bonus point just before the end. But then Bulls do hold on for the win as Leon were going in search of that final try. So very entertaining in terms of attacking rugby. Bit of a nightmare though for both defense coaches for those teams. There's a lot of work for them to do because against stiffer opposition, it could be hiding for either one of these teams unless they tighten up the defense. But certainly there's nothing wrong with either of their attacks. And again, Bulls making their debut in this competition, going to be happy with a first win. And, we always say with the Champions Cup, win your home games and try and get something away. So they've ticked the first box already. Leon did get something away though, so they'll be, quietly pleased with that as well, because they have the 4-try bonus point and the losing bonus point as well for them. Next time we have Castres 12, Exeter 27. So Exeter start this one off really well. We have Simmons opening the scoring. He was who was it? Can't remember who it was, like the number 9 for Exeter, whoever it is, kind of in a tackle, delays his pass and pops it off to Simmons, and he just has, that guy's great pace for a back rower. He goes over. We then have Ewers crashes over for their second try. Castres, in between those tries, they're picking up penalties. So, it's 12-6 just after the second try, but then they do get another couple of penalties before half time. So we actually go in level at the break, 12-all. Castres then start the second half. There's a deliberate knock on from them. They get a yellow and they're off. Exeter hit the lead then with the man advantage. And then we have Hogg makes a break down the wing and he puts Woodburn away for the bonus point try. Castres failed to score in the second half at all. And in the end, first half was close, but Exeter, pretty easy for them to pull away in the second half. Exeter went over to France, get a bonus point win. Can't ask for any more in your opening game in the Champions Cup. Castres, as I was talking before about some of the French teams, maybe if they don't fancy it, they might kind of send out second teams or whatever. It's be interesting to see what type of team they send traveling now at this weekend coming up. Next time we have Sale 39, Ulster 0. So Sale, the first 14 minutes or so, it was 0-0. So Ulster were doing okay. Ulster didn't do anything well in this game. I just have to say, everything seemed to go wrong for them, and a lot of that was down to how well Sale were playing, but also the fact that Ulster really didn't show up. But on the 15th minute, Sale do carve Ulster open. They've got great running lines, and there's a lot of deception in there as well. And the passes are nice and crisp. And they're able to carve through the Ulster defence and go over. Then they get the second try through the Priya. He goes over from close range. Then Vermeulen for Ulster gets sent to the bin. Ulster do though survive until half time for him to come back. But like 15-0 at half time, Ulster were probably thinking, okay, get a good start to the second half and we can start building our way back into the game. Not going to happen. So second half then, just to sum up Ulster's luck and just how things were, almost the universe was conspiring against them in this game. And I say that in terms of, with the full knowledge that the Sale Sharks were absolutely the better of the two teams out there. But also anything that could go wrong for Ulster did go wrong. And this is an example of it. So Rob Dupree goes for a basketball pass, about maybe 7 or 8 meters out from the line. He's looking to put the winger away. So he goes for it over the top of MacLeod. And MacLeod spots what he's doing. He puts his hand up. He blocks it out and intercepts the pass, but doesn't gather it. Pass then goes right back into Dupree's breadbasket, and he just strolls over for the try. And as soon as you saw that one going over, you knew that there was no way back for Ulster, that the rugby gods had decided that they were going to lose this one. And, Sale were going to be rewarded for the adventure that they're putting in. And also, every facet of the game, scrum, line out, maul defense, Sale were just the better of the two teams. And once that try went over, you just knew that there's no way back for Ulster. Sale then, the last quarter of the game, they're almost scoring at will, whether it's from turnover ball or set piece moves or wherever. They're just cutting Ulster open and just adding to that scoreline. And this game easily could have been 50 or 60 nil. And I couldn't see, you could have played Ulster playing that way. They could have played a whole extra 80 minutes and not scored point. They were so abject. And on the other flip side of things, Sale were just so good. It wasn't just sometimes with Sale, they've got that forward domination and, kind of a little bit like Exeter, where they're going to grind you down and score tries that way, like maul tries or pick and goes and that kind of stuff. But they were spreading the ball lovely. They were picking lines. They keeping the Ulster defence guessing all the time and just being absolutely ruthless. And that's what you need to go deep into this competition, is when you get your chances, you have to score. And when you have your foot on a team's throat, you don't take it off. You just rub it in and you keep on piling the scores on. That's what we see the top teams in Europe doing when they get in a position like this. And that's what Sale did there. So that's going to give them a lot of confidence going in to the rest of the games in the pool. Pretty much almost guaranteed at this stage that they're going to be one of the teams in the knockout stage, but they can't just rest on the laurels now. They're going to have to back this up with some other good performances and make sure that they get themselves, a decent seeding going into the knockout stages. Ulster, on the flip side, are absolutely up against it now. They've been trounced in their first game. They have La Rochelle coming to Ravenhill this weekend, and they've got to pick themselves up off the ground and, not just deliver a performance. They've pretty much got to beat La Rochelle, because if they lose that game and lose it heavily, then even if they limp into the knockout stages, they're they're probably looking at an early exit. So this already, like, just the second round of the pools, I feel like it's do or die for them. On to then the next game. So we have Saracens 30, Edinburgh 26. So Edinburgh, they open the scoring. De Bruyne goes over from close range for them. Then we have Saracens hitting back. Farrell, nice crossfield kick to Daly, and Daly's step on Van der Merwe to score was great. He just he left Van der Merwe rooted to the spot and just made a fool of him. Then Sarri score a driving maul try. Then Daly is the one kicking next. He kicks through for Lewington, who has the pace to get there, pick it up. He scores to put Saracens ahead. Farrell then, he throws an intercept to Highland, and Highland is away, and you think, oh, this is definitely a score for them. But he doesn't have the pace to get there. He steps back inside, they recycle the ball, and they go from right of the post to left of the post. And then a couple of Saracens players are able to hold the Edinburgh player up over the line. And who's one of those two players? Farrell. So he got back and helped to make amends for his mistake there. But that absolutely should have been scored. Like, Edinburgh absolutely blew that one. That should have been a nailed on try for them, and it wasn't. And given the final score, like, it was very costly for them in the end. Sarries then, they go from close in again, and they stretch their lead out. And then we have Kinghorn gets the final say. So he puts a lovely step in and puts Goosens over, and that gets them at least the losing bonus point. But then when they go in search of the final score that would win it for them, Sarries are able to turn her over, and Edinburgh knock on as well. So referee blows the whistle. You know, Edinburgh are a decent team. They're the only Scottish representative in the competition this year, and they are going to give, especially at home, they're going to give teams a tough game as well. So they're going to, they probably could have and should have won the game, but at least they got that losing bonus point, as something to build on. And if they can win at home, then it looks like they're going to make the knockout stages. Sarries, a nice solid, if not spectacular, win for them to start off. They're always a threat in this competition, and they're going to be home or away. They're going to give somebody a game. Next, then we have Munster 13 to lose 18. So this is another one where I've got a full video of it on the channel, so I'm not going to go through the ins and outs of the game. Just, some main points. The game started out in like pea soup fog and got worse and worse, where they were talking about, I kind of just started the second half. Well, we get to 60 minutes and then the referee might abandon the game and etc., etc. But they did play to the end. But there was ones where, like, high balls are going up in the air and it would come down and they'd be telling you somebody caught the ball and you just have to go, okay, I guess somebody did catch the ball. And it was a bit crazy from that point of view. But Munster started off well, and as the game went on and the fog got worse, Munster got worse as well. And Toulouse just have that nous in these European games as well. They didn't play great. And Dupont, I thought, didn't have his best game for them, but still it was enough for them to win this one. Munster are coming into a little bit of form, but I think the big hope for Munster is that they get into the knockout stages, and as their form improves, then they're, then they can start from the knockout stages, maybe knocking over some big teams. So at the moment, they're not quite there. Like they're certainly in much better form than they were at the beginning of the season. But still, you can see that there are little bits of the game that have to be tightened up for them. For Toulouse, like Kings of Europe, 5 times champions, go away to Thomond Park where hardly anybody ever wins. They get the win there. You start off like that, like you've got to feel very confident that you're going to make it through the pool stages. Then we have final game, Ospreys 17, Leicester 23. So Ospreys are the only Welsh representatives in the Champions Cup this year, and the reason they qualify is because they won the Welsh Shield. So they didn't finish they finished I think 9th, right, in the URC. So if the Shield system wasn't there, Glasgow would have been in the Champions Cup instead of them. But they didn't do all that bad in this game, like especially against a Leicester team who at the moment are not in amazing form, but under Steve Borthwick, like they have come on. You saw them last season as champions, and they're still a tough team to beat. But around the 39th minute, it's Ospreys 3, Leicester 6, all the points from penalties. But just before halftime, we do get the first try of the game. So Smith goes over from close range. Leicester were down to 14 at the time. So we win at halftime with the Ospreys ahead. But then in the second half, we have Giles. Like there was Leicester put in a cross kick, and Giles from Ospreys, he's gone up to try and claim it, and he kind of gets his hands to it, but he spills it, and he spills it to Harry Potter, who he pounces on it, and he goes over for Leicester. And then you're thinking, oh, come on, Ospreys, but Ospreys this year, they haven't been in great form, and there have been errors for them, and we see another one again. They're on attack, and it looks like they've got their running lines wrong, because there's an offload that kind of hits the back of their own player. And again, Leicester just swoop in and claim the ball. They get the ball out to Anthony Watson, and he has just those stepping, dancing feet, picks his way through the Ospreys defense. Amazing footwork for him to score. It's good to see him back as well, because he was injured. When was it? The end of last season, I guess. But yeah, it's nice to see him back. He's an amazing player to watch. He's one of those players where you would go to watch a game just to see him play. Ospreys, though, they do manage to score another try themselves. So 21 phases they go through. They go over from close range, and they make it a 1 point game with about 5 minutes to go. But then Tigers, a 1-score game, not a 1 point game. Made a 1-score game with about 5 minutes to go. But Tigers able to turn the ball over to death, and they get the win. And it's it's one of these ones where Ospreys, if they don't make those mistakes, maybe they can win the game. But Leicester are one of those teams where they find a way to win, and this felt like one of those games where they found that way to get the win. And again, winning away in the pool stages of this competition really sets you up really well for the rest of the pool then, because it means that you can, you first of all, got a good start, but also means that you're going to be confident in your home games. And if you can pick up both of those, then you go into, you've got one more game then. And if you get something like that, you're probably going to be high up the rankings. Even if one of your home games goes against you, you're still in the mix. And that's why it's so important for big teams like this that they go away and they win. Ospreys losing bonus point at home. The probably, when you look at the teams in the pool, they're probably one of the teams that you're thinking they're not gonna qualify. So now, having lost their first home game in it, they've only got one more home game to come. They're away this weekend coming up, and again, it's kind of the same with Ulster and with them. I feel that those two teams, they've got to get something this weekend. And it's probably going to have to be a win for both of them for them to stay in with a chance, because 2 defeats on the trot and then you're staring down the barrel of being completely eliminated, or maybe dropping down to the Challenge Cup. But it's going to be very hard after 2 defeats to force your way into the reckoning for the knockout stages. Right, so that's our look at the opening round. I'm going to probably on Friday. Yeah, probably on Friday. I'll do a look at the actual pools themselves and where the teams are, and also just a quick, well, I prattle on, so maybe not that quick, but a look at the fixtures as well coming up in round 2. So hope you enjoyed that one, and also let me know, how did your team do in the first round? How do you think they're going to do in the competition as a whole?